What's up guys, BrokenMyth here for another video, and today playing some Vainglory, and we will be talking about BrokenMyth's tier list. Okay, just to start off the video, I want to talk about myself a little bit, this little baby intro. So this season, I made it to POA Gold, primarily solo queue, maybe about like 95% games was solo queue and the rest was like duo or trio or whatever. And also, while solo queuing, I played against a few, famous players in the Vainglory scene. Like, I played against Old School, and I actually had Hardic on my team before. That was when I was POA Gold, of course. Now, to actually talk about the purpose of the video, the tier list, and I will be comparing and debating over BrokenMyth's tier list. So the only two tier lists I will be comparing is 2.1 and 2.4. During 2.1 and 2.4, a lot has changed, such as I'm sure everybody know about the alpha bug where her B was reduced to either 1 second or 1.5. That's one of those. Also, Petal, her range was nerfed, and I think her damage was also nerfed. With Adagio, his range was also nerfed, and just a lot more changes has occurred. So in 2.1, I noticed that a lot of their tier list, a lot of the heroes was on the bottom, received a huge bump, and some just received a huge downfall. Now what's interesting, because back in the day, definitely during 2.1, around there, definitely it was like months before 2.4, I would call myself an alpha main. I had 70 games plus with alpha in ranked. Who knows total? Who knows? I don't know. But when I checked back in the when I checked a while ago, when I made my 2.1 tier list video, I had over 70 games with her in solo queue. So I can say there's two heroes that I say I know with a decent amount of knowledge that I can be a credible source of information. It's Alpha, Moses, primarily CP, and Jewel. Like I said, I know those characters is like on the back of my hand. I know those characters. Those characters are they're just a big part of my Vainglory career. Like Jewel, she was the first character I picked when I was playing Vainglory back in the day. When you did tutorial, you could pick any character in the roster and you could play them. And I'm like, Jewel, wow, she's this chick on a mech. Hey, let's go. So I picked her and fell in love with her. She probably was the first. She definitely wasn't the first character I picked. I think she was like AK. I think she was like AK Glory. So I think I purchased like all the cheap heroes first. And with Alpha again, I had over 70 games with her before everybody realized how good she was. So I was playing her before everybody knew how good she was, because I knew she was good. But what's interesting is that on the 2.1 BrokenMyth tier list, she was ranked the 12th worst jungler out of 14. And that's followed by Idris, whatever, and Rhyme. Now this is where my knowledge of Alpha will come into effect, because during that time frame, Alpha wasn't nerfed or buffed during that whole time frame of 2.1 and 2.4. The only thing that happened with her is that bug which reduced her cooldown, which that was not intentional. Now, if we look at 2.4, Alpha is ranked the third best jungler in the game. The third best jungler in the game. How? Like, if you think about it, how? She wasn't nerfed or bugged during that time frame of 2.1 and 2.4. So that just baffles me. I'm like, how can she receive such a huge bump from 12 to 3? Oh, and that's not including what is it? Baptiste and who else? There's another. Oh, Baptiste and Grumpjaw. That's not including Baptiste and Grumpjaw, because they weren't released in 2.1. But and also for the 2.1 tier list, the top 3 was Casca, Grumpjaw, and Alpha, and number 4 is Rhyme. So Rhyme went from the worst jungler to 2.1 to like the top 5. And he wasn't if I'm correct, I'm pretty positive he wasn't nerfed or buffed. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty positive he wasn't nerfed or buffed. But just the more interesting case that I know for a fact is that Alpha wasn't nerfed or buffed in that time frame. So how did she receive such a huge bump from the third worst jungler in the game to the third best jungler in the game? Okay, well, interesting. But now, it is a lot of changes occurred. Now Jewel's definitely the worst. Idris, I'm just gonna call him Idris. Idris, he's still in the second worst jungler in the game, apparently. But I've seen a few Idris. Like, they've definitely put in some work. So of course all this is subjective. But the thing is when you make a tier list, you need to have both like knowledge of heroes' abilities and well, first off, you need to have knowledge of heroes' abilities and their damage outputs and all that stuff. And when do they get their damage spike? When are they most effective? And when are they most least effective? When are they least effective? Now, I don't know who made this tier list. Obviously, it was an employee from BrokenMyth. And I don't know what tier they are, because you can't just have this knowledge of the characters and actually develop a tier list. You must have field knowledge also. Like, you must play the characters out, see what they're weak against, what they're strong against, and whatever they're weak and strong against, are those heroes meta or not. So you have to put all those factors into place when you're creating a tier list. And I have no idea what rank are the employees that help develop this tier list, or if it is one person. I don't know what he or she I don't know what their rank is, because this tier list is really interesting. Just the fact about how Alpha received such a huge bump in the tier list, and she didn't receive a buff or nerf at all whatsoever. Only thing that occurred with her is that she was just that bug, which made her noticeable in the Vainglory scene. Now, now she's either picked or banned. Unfortunately, it kind of hurts me because I used to main her, and now it just knowing that she's not like my pocket pick, or just knowing that she's not that if I'm bored, I'm guaranteed to pick up Alpha. Because I remember in those games I had, I think it was near 2.1 or whatever, like maybe like one or two like people actually picked up Alpha. Like, no one, like, she was just that hidden gem that no one knew about. Now let's look at how the tier list changed for the roams. Of course, and I agree 100%. Lance, he's still on top. He's still the king of roams. He's just insane. He have a root and he have a stun. That's just that combo locks down the enemy team in an unfavorable situation for your teammates to start dogpiling a carry, a roamer, or whatever to blow them up and secure a kill. This Lance is just insanely good, but it's like he's not like OP. He's strong. He's definitely extremely strong, but he just isn't like insanely just unbearable. Like, I think a while ago, it was when I think Lyra just came out. Like, her poke damage was insane. That's like when she came out. Her poke damage was insane. She had to get nerfed. I actually forgot entirely what happened with her. I think like something occurred that they actually ended up hotfixing her. They hotfixed her like within a week after she came out. But enough about that. So first, I'm gonna just run down 2.1. With 2.1, the top roamer was Lance, followed by Arden, Finn, Catherine, Adagio, Lyra, Flicker, and Fort. And in 2.4, it's Lance, Finn, Fort, Lyra, Adagio, Arden, Flicker, and Catherine. Interesting. Really interesting how it changed. Do I agree with it altogether? Yes, I agree with it. It makes sense. It does. Fits how the current meta is, and it tells you what is played nowadays, and just the strength of the roamers. Lance, of course, he's on top, and Finn is definitely a strong pick. He have an AoE he can get fortified health and AoE fortified health. He have a stun at level 8, and also he have a anchor that pulls enemies towards him. Also, he could combo that. He can combo that with his A to get a guaranteed stun. But I have to say that Broken Myth did a good job with what is it with 1.1 and 1 and oh wait 2.1 and 2.4 with the roamer side of the tier list, because it definitely describes the meta, the release the roam meta during those time periods perfectly. Kiko's Arden, he just was definitely just Arden is such a great pick in 2.1. He still is a great pick. I think I have like about a 60, no, I have a 59% win rate. I think the highest I went was like a 60 something percent win rate. This Arden, he's kind of that anti-stupid roam. Okay, you just have those laners that just they have no regard for their life, and they're up being really aggressive, especially when there's like a glaive on the enemy team. They're being overly aggressive, being greedy, and end up getting killed for that. But like Arden, he just that anti-stupid roam, which gives excellent peel, and also he have a stun, his gauntlet. But besides that, they did an excellent job describing how the roams just the roam meta. With again 2.4 is Lance, Finn, Fort, Lyra, Adagio, Arden, Flicker, and Catherine. Everybody knows how powerful Fort was until they had to nerf his abilities, and they had to nerf Storm Crown. So Storm Crown affected a lot of heroes like CP CP, what is it, CP Glaive, and I guess CP Alpha. I never liked that Storm Crown bit. The Storm Crown bit. I did it once. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't like it at all. I stuck to the classic like Aftershock, Broken Myth, and then you can either choose you can either choose Shatterglass or Eva Harvest. Depending on who are you going against, and if you need to be like a life stealing, what is it, brick wall that does crazy damage, or if you just want to be like pretty much an assassin with the Shattered Glass. But yeah, again, they did an excellent job when it comes to the roam side. For he was insanely strong, and Lyra. Now with Lyra, she's like one of those picks that's just always banned. She's just always banned. It's definitely difficult to get a Lyra game in, but Lyra, she isn't like a guaranteed win, but like with the right team comp, it's definitely like beneficial to have Lyra on your team. And also, she's a great counter pick. She's great against Alpha. She's great against Ozo, and she's just great against characters that their abilities requires movements like Taka. She's excellent against Taka. So good, because Taka, all of his moves except for his B requires movement, and Lyra's snare will just catch him in his tracks, and he can't do any damage. He only do like auto attacks or either use his B to try to escape. The Adagio, I haven't really been seeing that many Adagios in higher skill tier ranked matches. I haven't really been seeing him that much. Flicker, I haven't really been seeing Flicker either. And Catherine, actually, I've been seeing more Catherine than Adagio and Flicker. But I feel like Arden, he definitely should be higher up. He should definitely be higher up against Adagio. So it should be like Lance, Finn, and actually Fortress. He's not that insta pick anymore. So I say Fortress, he probably needs to go down a little bit. But he still does he does really good damage, and he's really good with an aggressive team comp, like with Black Feather Jungle or with Rhyme Jungle. Like, he's still really good. There's nobody really pick him anymore since his nerfs and since Storm Crown nerf. But he's really good. He's really good. I still recommend people to actually pick him up still. But definitely their list, I think their list is really good. But if I had to make any changes, I would put like Lance, Finn, Fort, and Arden. Those two picks right there is just questionable. I'm not sure where to put it at, but just for the video's sake, I'll just say that Arden is above Fortress because again he's anti-stupid and I love that about him. That's one of the reasons he's one of those picks that if I had to fill Rome, I would pick Arden because again he's anti-stupid and I love that about him. So probably Lance, Finn, Arden, Fort, Lyra, and just continue from there. Now, definitely the most intricate meta is the lane meta. So we're gonna talk about the lane meta. Now, let's go over 2.1. So 2.1 lane meta was, let's see. It was Vox, Ringo, Adagio, Samuel, Gwen, Skye, Celeste, Baron, Kestrel, Scarf, and Saw. And next was, for 2.4, is Gwen, Baron, Vox, Ringo, Scarf, Adagio, Celeste, Samuel, Skye, and Saw. Now currently in 2.4, if you're a laner or a jungler or a roamer, doesn't matter. Either you're playing Baron or Skye, or you're going against Baron or Skye. Like, that's how the meta is currently. Baron and Skye just dominates the lane meta with an Iron Fist, followed by Vox. I don't see that many Ringo, but I'm sure I've seen more Ringo than Scarf. Adagio, I see no Adagio at all whatsoever. Celeste, I think I've seen either one or two Celeste. Samuel, I've seen no Samuels. Like I think I've seen one Samuel, like maybe like one or two Samuels. Skye, I don't see no Skies, and Saul, of course. Saul, he just that of course, Saul just like that troll pick that people just love using. This for just trolling purposes. You guys know how it is with Saul. I definitely seen Saul, but Saul, he got a great damage output. His damage output is really strong, but issue is that he requires a lot of peel. He requires a lot of strategy, and in my opinion, like if I ever have somebody that plays Saul, I definitely probably want to use comms or something, and either I need a good roamer that plays vision and have flares in their inventory. So it's like this Saw is that pick that I just would never pick. You know, back in my day I used to play some CP Saw because the damage is outrageous. Even if you have Aegis, his damage is outrageous. It's really fun to use. But like overall I would never play Saw. But 2.4, I think they did an excellent job on the way they judged the current meta. Just obviously a weapon power meta still, and probably will always dominate the meta because it's a lot more difficult to use CP to actually, to farm with, because with CP you have to use your abilities and you have cooldowns trying to last hit. But auto attacking, of course auto attacking have a cooldown, but it requires no mana. And it is a lot more, what is it? It is a lot more effective to use auto attacks over abilities to actually scoop up gold. And also, take some energy and all that good stuff. And yeah, you know how it is. But again, Gwen, Baron, Fox, Ringo, they control the meta, and unless one of them get nerfed or buffed, maybe Ringo get buffed, or maybe who knows, then there'll probably be a change in the meta. But currently, just those four, they control the meta, and right now, there's probably not going to be any changes from today to tomorrow to next month to the following month. Those four, I doubt that they're going to they're probably going to nerf. Super Even Mega Core probably be nerfing Baron, maybe even Gwen. But like Vox and Ringo, they're definitely in a good spot. And they're not like, oh my gosh, OP. But like with Baron, he gives off that broken type of feeling. He's just insane. Especially with his B, and when he auto attacks, he shoots 2 auto attacks. Just off of that, you start off with 2 breaking point stacks. Off of that, look, and also you can see Baron also in this match and how he just wiped the whole team. But besides that, Baron is a really strong pick. and just his B with auto attack is insane. And also when he Bs, he also gains an attacks. He gains in a movement speed bonus, and he's insane. Baron is so insane. I feel like Baron Baron is probably better than Gwen, but it's definitely by um like hairs or like strings. Like it's so minuscule and just so what is it? Just subjective, opinionated that it really doesn't matter because those two they're both extremely strong in the meta, and they just do really well together. I mean, well, they do really well in this meta, and they definitely control it again with an iron fist, and it's known. But besides that, with the lane meta, it's just Broken Myth again. They written out the meta, Gwen, Baron, Fox, Ringo, etc. pretty well, and I could say yes, they're correct with the 2.4 meta when it comes to lane. Finally, we'll be talking about the jungle meta. Of course, I'm a jungle main now. You know, I still got some roaming abilities in my back pocket. But the jungle meta, one of my favorite metas, because you know I love being a jungler. Jungle is extremely fun. I love doing it. And we're gonna talk about 2.4. We pretty much already covered 2.1 in my opinions on it. At least the more important points that I've seen that had to be covered. Now let's talk a list with 2.4. Let me remind you guys if I haven't already said it. What is the meta? From Broken Myth standpoint, it's Koshka, Grumpjaw, Alpha, Rhyme, Glaive, Ozo, Petal, Taka, Kroll, Blackfeather, Kestrel, Sky, Baptiste, Rona, Idris, and Jewel. Now, do I agree with this meta? I mean, do I agree with this tier list on the jungle aspect? I don't know. It's questionable because first off, again, when you do a tier list, you have to think about this: how much is it being played, what is it strong against, what is it weak against, and the heroes it's strong and weak against, are they meta? And I also gotta talk about just mainly those points. See, you have to talk about who's are they being picked frequently and how good they are and what they're weak and strong against and if they're meta. So currently Koshka, I can say I don't see. Do I see any Koshkas? I rarely see Koshka. Nobody really plays Koshka at all. And actually, no, not many people play Grumpjaw either. But I can say that Grumpjaw's damage is insane. CP Grumpjaw does insane damage. Insane damage. Of course, again, what is it? Stormcrown was nerfed. But we know that CP Grumpjaw does insane damage in the early game. His early game damage is insane. I feel like his damage overall is it's really good in this meta, and it's insane. I love Grumpjaw. I don't use him that much. I used to do Grumpjaw support, but you know, that was like a while ago. That's probably when he first came out and once he became, you know, viable with Glory. But I don't really play him that much. I usually stick to like, what is it? What is his name? Wait a minute. I just noticed that he's not even Samuel. They didn't put Samuel in the jungle. I just realized that they didn't put Samuel inside the jungle tier list. Now, I knew something wasn't feeling right about this meta. This about the tier list for what is it? Broken Myth. So Samuel, he's definitely one of the best, at least top 5s junglers in the game. He's a lot more effective in the jungle than he is in the lane. Because again, he's going to be CP, and he's way more effective in the jungle than he is in the lane. Especially since there's just other stronger picks such as Gwen, Baron, Vox, Ringo that's cluttered in the lane meta currently. You only see those 4 picks, primarily Gwen and Baron, and you know, sprinkle some Vox on the side. But definitely, I would say that overall, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. And I really don't see him that many. I don't really see that many Samuels in jungle, but like I usually always play him. Definitely, I have like maybe around I have definitely over a 50% winner with him. He's really good. He just does his damage. It's insane, and he have long range poke. Like, what more can you ask for a jungler? But definitely, he needs to be up here. I think he should be the third. He probably should be like the third best jungler at the moment, in my opinion. I think he should be like maybe like the third best. Maybe even higher than that, because I don't really see that many Kashkas. In fact, I don't really see that many Samuels. I don't really see that many Grumpjaws, but I do see a decent amount of alphas. And Glaive, I see a lot of CP Glaives. Even though Stormcrown was nerfed, I see a lot of Glaives. I see Ozo, of course, in this match right now. I see Ozo. I don't see that many Petals. I see Taka. I don't see that many Krolls. BF. I see a lot of BF lane. In my opinion, I think BF lane is just garbage. I think BF lane is so bad. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't like BF lane at all. But overall, what's in the bottom should be at the bottom. But I think Kestrel should be higher because CB Kestrel does insane damage. CB Kestrel does insane damage. I think CB Kestrel need to be higher up. Definitely higher up than Petal. And maybe Taka, I'm not sure. But overall, I do think that the jungle tier list is correct, but they need to add Samuel in there. Kestrel needs to be higher up. Petal, I think Petal needs to go down. Petal needs to go down. I think Rhyme needs to go down. I don't see that many Rhymes. But like overall, I told you my gripes about the 2.4 tier list, but you know, BrokenMyth, they did a good job overall. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button for some more videos in the near future. And I hope you guys have a great day, great night, all that good stuff, and more content coming shortly.